Okay, guys and girls, welcome back to FTRL. It has been a very, very, very long time since I've done one of these, so you're going to have to bear with me as much as possible. We are here for the very top division of our GT Sports side of FTRL. Joining me in commentary is my very loud and excitable Scottish friend, Mr. FTRL Switchback. Good evening, Zach.
It's not the first time I've been called excitable, honestly.
Well, I could have called you worse.
Yeah, 100%. To be fair, I was expecting that. That was quite nice of you, actually. Yes, good evening, everyone.
How are you, mate? Are you well?
Yeah, very good. I'm looking forward to this. Very, very quick guys in here, and it's an interesting grid. A couple more new faces than we're used to in GT1, so...
There is indeed. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to go through. But we will just jump straight into the action first of all. So we are in an 8-week season. As this is going to be the final season on Gran Turismo Sport. There is a new game coming out that's scheduled to be released at the start of March, so we've timed this as well as we can, but knowing the way that Gran Turismo games always get released, they're always a little bit late, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we're going to take this as our last season on Gran Turismo Sport, and we've gone old school. We've gone back to our British Touring Car Championship for both divisions. If you caught us last night, it's the exact same format. So it's a 7-minute qualifying session with 3 20-minute races, all at the same track, all at the same time. And it's just a slight difference in the way that the grid's sorted out. So for race 1, it's going to be based off of the qualifying, as we're going to see in just a moment. Race 2, the top 7 will be reversed, so whoever finished 7th in this race will end up starting on pole for race 2, and in the final race of the evening will be a full reversed grid. So whoever finishes last in the second race will start first in the last race. Hope you're with me on that. It seems a lot more confusing than it actually is. We'll go through the teams and the drivers and whatnot very, very soon. But Zach, talk us very quickly through Maggiore East. So it's a very popular circuit. We tend to do Maggiore most seasons on Gran Turismo Sport. But it's a bit of a fan favourite, isn't it?
It's definitely one of the cars in particular that everyone tests on quite often, Maggiore, because it's got a bit of everything. It's got really fast corners, it's got some pretty long straights, and it's got that tight and twisty Sector 1. So it's actually a track I think we all test on quite regularly.
Yeah.
So I think most people are very, very familiar with this track. So it's probably a good kind of track to see where everyone's pace is actually for all this season, because most of these guys will have driven this countless times before. Especially in GT1.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we'll go through the drivers and whatnot in just a second, and the teams. As you can see, there's a lot of familiar names on the grid. There's a couple of new drivers which we'll introduce you to very soon, but we're going to get our first qualifying time, which is from SBY, which is a 1:21.9. Everybody else crossing the line. T. Smith goes second, just behind SBY, but I imagine we're going to see the qualifying times. I imagine pole's going to be somewhere around 1:21.6, 1:21.7 from the pace that I've seen so far. So we'll quickly go through the driver lineup, Zach, just whilst we're here. So your reigning champion T. Smith, he's going in the BMW, a car which he absolutely loves, and he's teamed up with Ross. So last time those were teammates, it was an absolute just a mess. Yeah, it was just a calamity. It was a mess. They're going to bicker, they're going to argue, and I've been reliably informed that Ross is team leader for the season. So, you know, it says it all really. T. Smith, he's shit in Group 4 cars, so if anybody's expecting him to win the championship, then you're going to be so wrong, it's painful. So,
definitely a husband and wife team. T. Smith and Ross.
T. Smith is definitely the wife. Ross dominates that relationship from start to finish in every aspect. But we won't go into that in too much detail. Pagani is in a Subaru. His teammate is Mr. FTRL Lee Cole. So they're in the rather dashing Adrian Flux liveries. So some of the cars that have been created this season are unbelievable. So those boys are both in Subarus for the season. We've got our German team of Fieber and Unsafe Release. So those boys both in the Hyundais, which is my car for the season. Lovely car. Might struggle a little bit tonight. Livery. Yeah, they might struggle a little bit this evening. But again, this is a British Touring Car livery, so that's what we've kind of hoped everybody will go for. Devil's Nightmare who's down in the Ford Mustang. He was a late replacement into GT1. He's teaming up with one of the new boys, which is JEV Cusker. So we're going to call him Cusker. He's in the Toyota. Interesting choice. I've been informed he's pretty quick. He'll get quite a shock to the system, I think, moving into FTRL GT1 with the speed of some of these drivers. He's in the Toyota, which is one of the best cars on the grid, I would say, to be honest. The downside is that the car just doesn't move off of the line.
Oh, yeah.
And with how close, you'll see how close the qualifying is and whatnot, it's going to be hard to overtake. So he needs to pull something out of his bag. Yeah,
it's a nightmare, that car, to get off the line.
So,
you're going to see him plummet.
Yeah, I mean, we've got another new driver, Cartman. We'll just quickly go through these. We've only got a minute and a half left. Cartman, he is a friend of Lionessi, who is his teammate. Sitting in P4 in his debut in GT1. It's pretty good going. SPY has just improved his time, but he's right at the back of Cartman there. SPY we'll get onto him in a second. Lionessi down towards the bottom at the moment in the Honda NSX, which is a surprising choice because it's a nice car to drive, just not particularly fast. So we'll see how he goes. We've got FTRL Blue Flag, who is in the Subaru, and he is teaming up with Lennon, who has gone in the Hyundai, as we can just see here. And then the final team that we haven't mentioned yet is SPY, who's currently on pole position. Him and his teammate Jono, who unfortunately isn't racing this evening, was due to be flying home from being away for a few months and has contracted COVID right at the last minute. So I know you're in the chat, Jono, so I hope you get better soon, mate, and I hope all is well. Safe journey to you, and we look forward to seeing you back on the grid. Jono's a bit of an FTRL favourite amongst the group, so hopefully we'll see you very, very soon as the lads are coming around to complete their final qualifying lap. We've got all the pleasantries out of the way. Now it's time to take the piss out of all of them. SPY on pole on the Evo, Zach. Is that surprising to start?
Considering what he was saying last night, I'm not sure how much that slipstream has helped him, because he really was not confident when seeing the pace last night.
No.
Which has surprised me quite a bit that he is. He's currently on... Oh, Ross. 21.8.
Well, he's not going to improve. Cartman hasn't improved. Lennon's about to cross the line. He hasn't improved. Pagani is on a lap. Now, Pagani's second, only half a tenth off as it currently stands. But Ross has out-qualified Tom by the looks of things, unless Tom is about to come over the line. Yes, he is. Is he going to get another time in, Tom? No, he doesn't improve. So Ross has out-qualified his teammate.
Ooh.
Is Pagani going to snatch pole? No, he is not. So SPY... to be honest with you, I thought he might struggle a little bit in the Evo this season. It wasn't really a car that was spoken about all that much in testing, but he's definitely brought his pace over as SPY.
That's a rapid time in that car.
It really is. I mean, I said 21.6, 21.7. I have seen Pagani do a 21.5, so, but I mean, he probably would take a P2 for the start of the first race of the season if you offered him it. But let's get down to the action. Zach, do you want to take us away? We'll go on board with Pagani because that gives us a better angle of the grid.
It does indeed. Right, here we go. Final season of GT1 for GT Sport. Pagani gets away well. I think he's got a bit of a jump on SPY. They're going to go side by side into turn one. Pagani, I think, has got the upper hand at the moment. SPY have the inside. Pagani will have the inside for turn two, though. I think Pagani's got him. Unless SPY hangs it around the outside. Nope, it looks like Pagani has got him. Ross is going to try and squeeze through as well. SPY trying to go around the outside of Pagani. Pagani gets his elbows out. I think that's Pagani leading then from SPY. Ross in P3. I think it's quite clean in behind. There doesn't seem to be any contact majorly, unless you spotted anything, Aaron.
No, I mean, nothing too much really. I've just seen that Cusker's falling up behind Devils. It's like I said, that Toyota's a really good car, but needs to be careful because he's lost a bit of time already. But the pack is close. We imagine it's going to be like this for most of the season, for most of the races. So Ross has had a really good start. He's got a small gap to T. Smith, who's under pressure straight away from Cartman in that very, very iconic Renault livery there. He's going to get a penalty for that cut, I think. It looked like a bit too much of a cut across the S section there.
Might have got away with it.
Yeah, might have got away with that. And he's under pressure from Fieber. Lee Cole down in 7th, Unsafe Release in 8th, Lennon in 9th, Lionessi in 10th, Blue Flag 11th.
Fieber
and you've got Devils and Cusker rounding off the grid.
Fieber and Cartman going side by side.
Yeah, Cartman's a little bit of a wiggle. Lee's going to have a run down towards turn one, but it is Pagani that leads the way. SPY right behind him. Is he going to take a look into turn one? No, he's not. We might see a little bit more tactics from these drivers. We might try and, run away in a bit of a gap and then fight towards the end. Obviously, slipstream, you're looking, and if you look under the driver names in the top left corner, you want to be looking for about 0.75 of a second, which means that you're kind of out of slipstream range. So if you see anybody outside of that range, they're not really getting a tow from the car ahead. So you seem to find a lot of the time that drivers will try and pull a bit of a gap in their packs and then fight amongst themselves. But
Hartman's lost a few places.
oh, Ross is deep. Ross is very deep.
Oh, dear.
Got caught out by the slipstream. Feber's gone through. T. Smith's gone through. Is Lee going to get him? They're going to run close, but Lee's through, yeah. So, one mistake, 3 positions lost for Ross. Unsafe release.
To make a mistake there.
Yeah, it's the trickiest corner on the circuit. Unsafe release.
Yeah, 100%.
Under pressure from Lennon is basically pushing him around the track. Identical cars are, by the looks of things, identical pace. Nice to see unsafe release back on track after spending a lot of time out due to a lot of internet problems and whatnot. But that's the last positive thing I'll say about him, considering the way that he ripped the living life out of me last night. So Cartman's dropping down the order. He's had a couple of wiggles and he finds himself down in 10th under pressure from Kuska now.
Yeah, I think
Kuska looking at the
hard way here.
inside. It's a learning curve. I mean, there's 24 races this season, so it's not all determined. Blue Flag's had a bit of a nightmare to start. He's been in, but the only way is up from this point. Devil's hanging on to the pack well. Pagani nearly got a 7/10 of a second gap to SBY, and SBY's got 1.4 seconds to T. Smith. So these two are making a run for it already.
And it's the same two that always end up beside each other and always end up in some amount of battles every single season, these two.
Oh yes. Now Feber's driving very, very well, putting T. Smith under all sorts of pressure.
Interesting choice from T. Smith as BMW. He loves it, but it's the only driver in the 2 divisions that went with a BMW.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Flag did put it down as his second choice. I mean, there was a lot of people that put this as their second choice, but I think absolutely everybody got their first choice of car, from my knowledge. So that was all good. So there's 4 Subarus on the grid. T. Smith's a little bit wide into the final corner, but he's going to get a slightly better run.
We mentioned this earlier. Lee Cole picking a slightly different car, and he's done a good job in P5.
Yeah.
Straight on the pace.
Normally with Lee, it's all about like just power and not a lot else. But he's completely changed up his tune this year. So
very nice to see him up there.
To put it into easier context for you, it's like having your favourite musical artist as like Slipknot and then quickly changing it to Adele. That's what Lee's done there.
Oh, Tom, Jesus, that's what he
did. We're showing his true colours here. I told you, we're bang average. Absolutely bang average.
It's not having the strategy as well.
T. Smith, he's running wide. He's going to make a mistake somewhere. Ross still fighting with unsafe release. He's dropped off the back of Lee a little bit, but I mean, Ross will probably be content with where he is at the moment. Linus is up to 8, so he's coming through the field nicely. Lennon and Kuska going side by side. And then Cartman and Blue Flag are close behind again. 3 wide, they're bumping all over the place. Oh, it's getting a bit feisty. Lennon's off. It's so close.
Tom. Last corner. Fever trying to hold it around the outside. He's going to have to do a bit of a switch back. Oh, Lee's trying to pop it down the inside as well.
Yeah, that Subaru's so good around some of these corners. He can afford to try it. Yeah.
It's mental in that last corner.
T. Smith under all sorts of pressure.
He is indeed. He's not got into that rhythm yet. I think it's one of those things when you're constantly trying to defend or you don't get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And this track, I think you need a rhythm.
Yeah, SPY was briefly out of slipstream range of Pagani there, so Pagani's almost done what he needs to do. If he can keep it nailed for this little section here, he's pulled the gap now. He just needs to keep it for a few more corners and then find himself out of that slipstream range properly. T. Smith going very defensive down the straight, so he's under pressure, as we've seen.
Nice to see Devils managing to keep up pace with the guys at the back in that car.
Lee's having a look at Feber. He kept that planted really, really well, Lee. In P4, he's going to go side by side. Feber concedes position. Very nice, clean driver, Feber. again, he's a bit of a fan favourite to everybody. But it's all looking good.
Unsafe seem to be catching these groups.
Yeah, I think that because these guys are kind of half having a look at each other in a lot of the corners, it's allowing these guys to catch up. Lionesse's really doing well in that Honda at this point because he was struggling and he's catching up to this group. So the more those guys keep squabbling ahead. The All Devils has had a massive wiggle out the final corner, just manages to hold it, but he's lost slipstream now. Oh, Pagani hasn't managed to shake off SBY.
No, not at all. SBY 21.7 last time around. That's rapid.
Yeah, that is quick. Matches. I mean, Pagani did a 21.7 the lap before, but he did a 22.1 on that lap. So if he'd have managed to put in another decent lap, I mean, he's gone purple in the first sector here, but SBY looks like he's basically mirrored what he's done.
Nice and calm for a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean,
not expecting to stay like it though.
Race 1 for most weeks is probably going to be the most boring out of all of them because it's qualifying order. Once we start jumping up the grids and stuff, that's when it makes things incredibly interesting. But there's a little gap of 3. Ross has pulled a slight gap to unsafe release. And Lioness is only 1.4 behind.
Thing is, Pagani and SBYs, I think their cars are pretty similar straight line speeds, to be honest.
Well, this is where it's going to be difficult for a lot of the season. I know these guys have pulled a bit of a gap to those ahead, but I imagine for a lot of the races we're just going to see massive trains because although there's a few different cars, they all kind of weigh each other out throughout the course of a lap.
Yeah.
And with it being an 8-week season, half the tracks will suit the 4-wheel drive cars, like your Subarus and your Mitsubishis. But then other tracks, it will suit the likes of the BMW and the Hyundai. So
Tom is really going wide at that. He's going to have to pick up a penalty one of these times, going because you can pick up a penalty, but you need to go really wide. But he is pushing that a bit.
It looks like he's having to. I mean, we all know how quick Tom is. Jokes aside, and we know that he's got the racecraft in him to make sure he holds on to a position or a win or whatnot. But I mean, he's not as close as he would like to be to the top guys. He's 3.8 seconds behind Pagani, nearly 4 now. So.
It does look like he's having to push it a bit more than the guys behind as well to try and stay there.
But then the part of me thinks that he probably wanted a bit more of a challenge on that front because he's got the most GT titles in our history. So Lee's trying to go around the outside. That was close.
That Subaru's good on traction out that corner.
Yeah, he's going to go side by side. Tom's still, I imagine. Oh, it's going to be close because Lee will 100% go for this move, and he can go later on the brakes. Tom is smart enough to get that almost perfect.
Oh, that was close.
Lee might get a penalty there because he cut a lot of turn 2. Let's have a look.
Early on the race, that's why he picked up the penalty in the first place. He's still got a bit of. Oh, he's got away with it actually.
Well, Phoebe's there. Ross is now well and truly involved in this battle as well. An unsafe release is only a few tenths off of being involved in the battle. So Tom trying to break slipstream. Phoebe taking a look at Lee, but Lee's probably going to hold this. Phoebe's touched the grass.
Oh dear.
Massive slide, he's held it. Oh, he's just narrowly avoided unsafe release.
Done well there.
Yeah, these two though can work together now to try and catch back up to our little pack, but Lee now the sole driver putting T Smith under pressure. Pagani and SBY still mirroring the same gap. 5 seconds now, so T Smith is doing a lot more defending. Yeah, and Ross is appearing out of nowhere.
Lee's going to have to go round outside.
Yeah,
Ross is going to switch back.
Ross is going to get a good run here.
Done him.
Ross is going to get a good run. Just over halfway through. Do not count Ross out of this battle at all. If we can.
21s as well for Ross. He's picking the pace up. A lot of these guys are very, very closely matched on pace. There's not much between them at all. few temps at most between the top, I'd say 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Behind SBY and Pagani in particular. Very, very tight.
Guys in the stream chat, can you just let me know that both of our volumes are okay? Like, because Zach sounds a little quiet to me, but it could just be my settings. So I just want to make sure that we're both can be heard loud and clear. Pagani and SBY are officially side by side. Pagani's got just back ahead of him. I don't know what the difference is to being normal side by side and officially side by side, but
good point.
Mike said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Zach could be a little bit louder.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not something I've ever been told before.
I know. It's a weird one. I'll just quickly check my settings just to make sure that everything's okay.
Alright, that should be a bit better now. There we go.
Yeah. There you go, back to normal. Back to loud Zach. Right, I mean, the top two are really close, but they're just kind of holding position. The battle really is the one behind. The one for P3, there's not a lot going on. You sound perfect, Aaron. Stop it, you. Lee Cole driving very, very impressively at the moment, it must be said.
It's the best I've seen Lee drive. I'm not going to jinx him, but it is the best
Tom's
I've seen Lee
really
drive
wide
in a long time.
again. Exploiting those track limits like a fucking cheater that he is.
I don't know how he's not picked up a penalty from that bit. His penalty was from the middle sector. I think he cut the outside of the first part of the S's.
Well, we have a five car train for the final podium position, and at the moment Unsafe Release is going to be the one starting on pole position in race 2, so don't forget that part of it. Lionessy is coming back under pressure from Cartman, who's caught back up pretty well considering he had a few dodgy laps. P8 and 9. By the sounds of things, Cartman and Lionessy aren't used to being in these sort of positions. I think they tend to be at the top of most places where they race, so might be a little bit of a shock to the system. Lennon down in 10th. Blue Flag really struggling, and Kuska as well. Obviously it's a first race syndrome, so I wouldn't look too far into it. Devil's Nightmare as well, just fallen off a little bit, but it's not too far behind. But it's as you were for start of lap number 11. Someone's got to start making moves soon, because they're kind of just all following each other at the moment. I'm on the edge of my seat because I don't know what's going to happen here.
I don't know. I think that's going to go into the last lap with Pagani and SVY. I don't think they're going to. This tends to happen.
It's a bit of an old It's a bit of an old respected rivalry between those two, because they always seem to be incredibly close to each other. I think they can infuriate each other at times as well, Pagani and SBY. But I think they've both realised, especially by the gap that they've created, if they kind of work together until the end of a race, they can put themselves in some really good positions this season. And we've seen that already. If I told you at the start of the race that with 5 minutes to go, there would be a car 7 seconds ahead of T. Smith, you would probably assume that there's been an accident.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're all still following each other nice and patiently as it stands. Yeah,
Kuska's for 5 that's interesting. Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Who's going to put the first move?
Cartman's got past Lionessy and has pulled a bit of a gap, so he is closing, but whether he's left himself too much to do, I don't know at this stage. All it takes is one accident and then Cartman could be on pole for the next race.
If they start battling as well, he's going to close up quickly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they will do. They will start battling very soon, but lap number 12, as you were again at the front, of what's there going to be? 4 laps left? Maybe 5. Pagani's lap times are pretty consistent, and SPY's are a little bit more varied.
Lennon's done the most Lennon thing ever. He's so inconsistent, but then he pulls that 22-1 in lap 7.
Yeah. Pagani and SPY are starting to go at it now. SPY around the outside of Pagani, but he's going to run a bit deep. Pagani can try and cut back, and then cut back again, but SPY's held it. Pagani is going to have a little bit more speed carrying up behind him, though, but SPY placing his car pretty well. These two are going to start going for it now. Pagani to go to the outside or to the inside. Can't make his mind up.
Better cut back.
It's going to be close. There'll be 3
Both
more
of
laps.
those cars are great on traction.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi and the Subaru.
3 more laps to go. Pagani going to take a look down the inside at turn 1. This is where they're going to start scrapping now. Oh, Pagani takes a little bit too much curb. SPY didn't do anything wrong. SPY is very, very good at putting his car where he needs to, as is Pagani. I think the idea for these two is if they can kind of imagine how it would be to fight themselves, then that's the answer. Which I think is actually not a bad way to look at it.
Yeah, what would I do?
What would I do? Tom is so wide out that corner.
Again?
Yeah.
Ross is having a look at Lee.
Yeah, moves are going to start to be made. It's a bit of a shame for Ross because he looked... Oh, Lee's wide. Lee's wide.
He's back on.
Yeah, he's held it well. He's going to slot in between the two Hyundais. Unsafe's going to take a look at him, though. Oh,
that's close.
Lee needed to be a bit more aware of Unsafe there. Lee's head's gone. Oh, Unsafe won't be happy with that because Lee's had to cut the track to get back ahead of him.
I picked up a penalty as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Pagani's wide. SBY.
Oh, this is going to be spicy last couple of laps. I don't know where to look. Oh, Lee's off again. At the final corner.
Lee.
Lee's doing a Mikey. Mikey's just said Lee's doing a Mikey.
Oh, Pagani nearly off the track. Jesus, that was ballsy on the brakes.
I'm going to have to start calling him FTRL _Pagani Sport in homage to Junkie Sport after his late break-in last night.
Right. Oh, well, Unsafe's now kind of lost touch with that after that instant with Lee.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I mean, Lee didn't do anything wrong. He made a bit of a mistake, and then I think he was on dirty tyres trying to get himself back into that position again. And I think he just got a little bit too eager because he's jeopardised Unsafe a little bit. Unintentionally, he wouldn't have meant to have done that. However, as it stands, he will be starting on pole position. This is going to be spicy.
This is very, very tight. Where does Pagani go here?
Peteman's in the chat, getting tasty up front. It's always tastier when you're around, Pete. Hope you're well, my friend.
Right. I imagine he's going to go for this. You'd think.
It's good because these two will probably be like muttering under their breath at each other here, but the prospect of the battle between the two of them is fantastic.
Pagani thought about a move there and then just kind of thought, I'll keep it for the next couple.
Probably just showing his nose to SPY, trying to make him, force him into a mistake.
I think that's might go to the final corner.
He probably will do.
A move. I think they'll try a move at the final corner because that's kind of thing is you overtake round here, there's always that chance you'll get re-overtook towards the final corner. Yeah, well, we're going to stay on board with this battle. We know that there's the one for P3 behind, but I can't imagine Ross will put Tom under too much pressure. But SPY still gets a good run out. Pagani's going to look to the outside. There. Oh, he's just not.
Just about got the gap there. Pagani's going to have to do something special to get the job done.
A little bit wide there. Pagani might get a better run. He has. He's right there. Oh.
This is going to be close.
So close.
Pagani's got to pick his line and pick it now. He's going to go to the outside.
Away. That's it. He's committed.
He's going to go around the outside and try and get a cutback. That line suggests he's going to try and get a cutback. SPY, I think SPY's done enough. Pagani is closing. He's going to keep closing, but I think SPY is going to be your first winner of the season. Fantastic drive from them two. Pagani will be gutted. SPY will be elated. One of them had to be.
It's a drag race. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty.
T. Smith. Oh, Feber's got Ross.
Oh, it was a drag race to the end. 9,000s between Feber and Ross.
Oh, Lee's got it all wrong. Lee's dropped down to 10th. So Cartman, after all of that, is going to be starting on pole position for race 2. I said it. All it took is one mistake.
Oh, look at his last laps. 25.4, 23.8, 26.6, 28.6. Oh, Jesus. Oh, indeed me.
Well.
Lee.
So, SPY takes the win. Pagani in second and T. Smith. To be fair to him, he's held himself off there to get Very,
He's
very
done
good.
well.
He's done very, very well. A good third place there. Fieber is in P4, Ross in P5, Unsafe Release in 6, and Cartman is going to start on pole position for race 2 because he came in 7th. Run through the rest of the grid in just a second, but congratulations to SBY. It's a really good result. Lion SE in 8th, so it's a good recovery drive. Lennon in P9. Lee Cole's going to be really disappointed with that 10th. I think he had a bit of a Mikey moment to drop himself down to 10th. Blue Flag 11th, he'll be disappointed, but it's a long season. Cusker down in 12th and Devil's Nightmare in 13th place. So I just need to change these race settings. I'm going to save the race replay. I apologise that you guys are going to have to see me alter all of the settings this week. I shouldn't really be lobby host, but I am. So I'll try and get this done. So it needs to be set by host. I believe that is everything. Right. So you'll see me in just a second. Well, Zach, what I will need you to do is open up the race results in just a moment so I can do the grid. You got a mouthful of... I know, I'm not going to say that because we're on stream.
Jesus Christ, man.
Natural reactions. I nearly said something very, very wrong then. Right. So change grid order. So Cartman's going to be on pole. Unsafe Release is going to be second. Ross third.
Fever.
Yeah, no, I meant for this race.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to look it up, and it's not working first, really.
Right, so SPY finished first. Pagani finished second.
Then T. Smith was third.
Yeah, and then Fever was fourth.
There's Fever, and then it was Ross.
Then Unsafe, then Cartman.
Then Cartman.
Lion SE was 8th.
Lion SE was 8th, yep.
Lennon.
And then Lennon, it was Lennon.
Then Lee.
Len Lee.
Blue Flag, Cusker, Devils, am I right?
Yep, Cusker, then Devils.
Perfect. Right, we'll give them a 2-minute warning. Give everybody a chance to unwind. Well, first race. Give us your standout driver in that one, mate. Obviously, I know Pagani and SPY, but anybody else? Any other mentions?
If it wasn't for Lee, it would have been Lee. That's a shame for Lee.
It was a shame.
Fantastic there. Other than that, T. Smith are managing to hold off them. It didn't look likely, to be honest, at the start of the race, but Cartman seems quite quick.
Yeah, he had a couple of moments in that first race. He had a couple of laps where he was just a bit dodgy out of a couple of the corners and fell off. But then to get himself back up to, I know obviously Lee handed him the pole position there, but I mean he was closing on that gap ahead, so he's obviously got some pace about him, and I think he'll grow into the season. Cusker's not pleased about the car, by the sounds of things, which is a bit of a shame. I thought Ross drove really, really well.
Cusker in again? Cusker's Honda, isn't it?
Toyota.
Hyundai. Oh, he's in. Oh, right.
I mean, it's a really good car, the Toyota. It was in the Toyota.
I mean, I think it was a few seasons ago, but I'm not sure if it's. I did get nerfed at one point, but I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, we'll give him another 30 seconds before we start. I'm going to ask you for your pick for race number 2, Zach.
Dear.
And put it in the chat as well, please, everyone. Who we're going for? Obviously, the top 7 have been reversed.
I'll actually go for T. Smith.
Yeah, I think Ross is going to win this one.
Oh, Ross.
I do think Ross will win this one, I think. Providing he has a good opening couple of laps. I'd like to see Cartman do well. To be fair, I'd like to see all of them do well, other than Unsafe Release. So, after last night, I want nothing. I don't want him to feel any happiness this evening, Unsafe Release.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, T. Smith, I think, thing is with his Smith is he pulls out results when you don't expect him to pull out a result.
Yeah, this is it. Well, Pagani's gone for a livery change, I think. Has he gone for a livery? Yeah, he is.
He has indeed.
Sponsored by Dennis Irwin, the old United left back. I can't take it back, Fever, because he was very mean to me last night. Unsafe release on the stream. So... Junkie Sport, or Carl as he's better known in the chat. Good evening, my friend. 15 people watching Gran Turismo. Good on you. Can you all please really quickly just click on the like button? It'd be much appreciated. It will take you literally a second to do. It goes a very long way to helping us, and it helps us reach more people. So we will get race number 2 underway. And I think, let me just double check everything's right. Yes, it is. Start the race. Here we go. Oh, it's going to be interesting. So you've gone T. Smith. I've gone for Ross. And Mike has also gone for Ross in the chat. And no one else has commented. So there we go. So let's go and spectate. Even that won't let me. There we go. Right. Do you want to take us underway for race number 2, Zach?
I shall do. Now, how does the Renault start compared to the Hyundai? Let's find out. Drag race to the line. Turn 1. Who's going to be in the lead at turn 1? Here we go. Race 2. Cartman starting on pole for race 2 and his first week.
Oh, he's had a good launch.
It's a decent start. He has indeed. Unsafe. He's left unsafe by dust. Ross is nipped past unsafe already. That's Subaru starting well. Unsafe though, trying to hold it round the outside. I think he's got the inside for the next line. That was good defending by Unsafe. Feeber's going to try and nip down the inside of Ross. I think they're going to go side by side. Ross will have the inside line for turn 3. And he's having a look at Unsafe as well, actually. Unsafe though keeps P2. Ross, I think, stays in P3. Feeber though is still battling. And I think Feeber are still side by side, actually.
God, T. Smith is so wide. He nearly hit the wall on the outside then, yeah. Got a penalty for his trouble.
That time. It's about time of film. Oh, he's ghosted now. Oh dear.
Yeah, he's got rid of his penalty. Oh, SPY's wide. Oh, Lennon's had a wiggle.
Lennon.
Oh, it's all kicking off down the back of the field.
He's held it well.
Has anybody dropped too much positions?
1.1 second, 1.2 seconds for he's off.
Yeah. This scrap behind him is
perfect for him.
Perfect, yeah. I had the same thing last night. Pagani's had a massive wiggle. He's just got past Ross. Can he get past either of the Hyundais? Pagani's going to try and go around outside of Feeber. Luckily that car's really good. Unsafe's going to dart towards the inside to give Feeber the slipstream. But Pagani still looks like he's ahead. Cartman crosses the line. Still your race leader. Had a really good opening lap as Cartman there.
Feeber's got late. He's trying to hold it.
Nice respectful battle. Lovely to see. Really good battle. And Ross has kind of just been held up here a little bit. Ross, opportunistic move down the inside of Feeber, but backs out. Driving standards have been really good so far. Ross might get a penalty for that. It was a bit of a cut, yeah.
Tom actually took the lane there, like a normal line.
Yeah, SBY's caught up between the two PureTech cars, and then Pagani is nailed on in third now, so he's going to try and get past Unsafe release, and then it's a question of can he get away. The Hyundai isn't the best around this circuit, however it's not too easy to drop it.
Cartman to still get a decent gap. It's building up now, it's nearly 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's driving very, very well.
Pagani's on the hunt now. Will he get Unsafe?
We'll have a look down the back of the grid. Just quickly see whether Pagani can get past Unsafe. He gives him a little feint.
Nah.
Not to be done. But the back of the grid, everyone's pretty much in a line at the minute. There's no one that's going too crazy. There's a small gap between Lee and Lionessi. I don't want to lose too much. But with everybody battling, it's probably the best time for them to try and catch back up. But Cartman is out in front, and from what I understand, this is where he's used to being. So he'll do well to hold a grid of this magnitude behind him. So let's see what he can do. But Unsafe Release doing a really good job of holding Pagani up at the moment. Faber's going to get a good run out with that hairpin there. Can he challenge Pagani into the start of the S section? He's going to tuck in behind. Ross still there as well. Unfortunately, in this division, you kind of have to just capitalise on mistakes rather than make overtakes. It's a difficult one. It's going to be infuriating for a lot of people, but we'll see as we go. But there's a massive queue in the battle for second. Proper FTRL train. FTRL Panda would be licking his lips at the moment. Loves an FTRL
the line
train.
Into that last corner. Oh my god! 5 cars there on completely different lines in the final corner. Lionessi
is officially a part of the battle, so that's good. Lee's not far behind as well. Lennon is just a few tenths off.
Having to defend. Front safe. Oh, he's alright. Safe got better of it.
Job done. The gap is 2 seconds. Now, can Pagani, what can he do about Cartman up ahead? Pagani will be gutted that he lost out in race 1. So let's see what he can do in race number 2.
SUI is stranded in P7 at the moment, and he's stuck royally behind Ross, who is by no means a slouch. He's got a very quick driver, so he's going to struggle to get past Ross very quickly, so he could get stuck there for a while. Lee's kind of bridged that gap as well now. There's now a gap behind Lee. Lee's managed to catch up a bit.
Unsafe and Feeble have just swapped positions. It almost looked a little bit tactical, that. So, I mean, like I said, it's Unsafe's first proper racing for a good couple of months or so. So, he's getting back up to the speed of things. But P6 in race 1, he's P4 in race 2. So, he's going pretty well.
Half a second Pagani's gained. He's going. Oh, he's more than half a second now. He's off.
Yeah, the gap's down to 1.3. Cartman won't like the look of that gap.
Oh, it's Pagani's time. There we go. 1:21.9. He's off. That's a good 8 tenths quicker.
Cartman's at a 22.7, so Cartman needs to put the hammer down now.
Pace.
But the 2 Hyundais in 3rd and 4th, doing very, very well indeed.
Teammates side by side a wee bit there. T. Smith and Ross. And will T. Smith let team leader through?
He should do.
That's the question.
I don't know why he's got the number 1 on his car. Ross probably let him have it to make him feel good.
Oh god,
wide again.
That's a penalty.
Shocking,
this. Definitely.
Penalty points will be applied after the race. I just need everybody to know that. Disgraceful.
How he's not picked up a penalty for that one, I don't know.
Ross has got a good run on him. Let him go, Tom. Free him.
He does. He has. He's left him.
Yes, so let him go. Let the better driver through. There we go. Job done. Go on, Ross. Ross has finally been unchained.
Now he has to try and keep SBY behind, and that's not looking easy at the moment. He's all over the back of him.
T. Smith reminded me of Benjamin Mendy with what he's doing here to poor old Ross. I shouldn't have said that. It's fine. Right, Pagani's almost in slipstream range. That's not something I should have said. I apologise to the stream for that one. That wasn't a good one. A lot of things come to my head. And that shouldn't have been one of them.
That took me off guard there.
Yeah. Oh, Unsafe Release dipped a bit of his wheel on the grass. We managed to hold it. Wasn't too bad. Just going to check in with the guys a bit further back. SPY is going to be getting increasingly more frustrated. Unsafe. Sorry, not unsafe. Yeah, Lionessi and Lago.
Yeah. He's still a bit wide, a bit ragged for that first sector there. I think when that Honda does get out of shape, it's quite difficult to get it back. Sometimes. Got a bit of a mind of its own. That Subaru's a very different car to the Honda. Seems a bit better this race though, Lionessis.
Well, I mean, he recovered really well in race 1 to get to a P8. I mean, those top 7 have asserted their dominance this evening so far. Lee Cole's going to take a look into the final corner. These two get on very, very well, Lionessi and Lee Cole. So they're no strangers to racing against each other. Lago has got past, but Linus, he definitely got the better run out that final corner, and he's now pretty much pushing Lee down the start-finish straight. Is he going to take a look, or is he just going to keep pushing him? I think he's going to try and help him close back up on the gap. Got Lennon and Blue Flag battling away for the 25th season in a row. Blue Flag's livery is very, very nice. We'll come on to livery shortly, Zach, and I'll ask you who your favourite is. Blue Flag's is really smart, actually.
It is, actually. I like that kind of black and yellow like it is at the back.
Yeah.
Nice contrast.
Pagani is now well and truly...
Oh dear, he is.
Up there with Cartman. Cartman's going to try and cut that back on Pagani, but he's a wide old fox. He's Pagani, and he takes the race lead. Cartman, if he can just stay with him, and they can work together to get away, Pagani will just be all eyes ahead, and Cartman can just stay with him.
Thing is, his pace is relatively decent, Cartman, at the moment. People in unsafe are catching and going a little bit quicker, and they're working together quite well. But behind that, it's a decent gap behind Ross, so still a chance of a
Cartman's laps,
P3,
other than the first lap, which is obviously from a standing start, and lap 4, where he lost a couple of tenths, all of his laps so far have been 22.2 or 22.3. So it's close. It's consistent, it's close, and Pagani is running away.
SPY must be getting a bit frustrated now. He knows he's got the pace to be right up there, and he's stuck in a bit of a rut. 23.6 last time around. Just
need to be aware for those guys on track that it's easy enough to really want to get the most out of every single race, but if you're not going to have the best race, to try and damage damage limitation, and then because race 3 is a full reverse grid, so SPY will be in quite a good position for that race.
That's the way the championship works in the point system. It rewards consistency.
Yeah. All Linus, he darts to the inside for a bit of a move on Lee. Lee's going to have to hold it around the outside, but Linus is through. Good experienced overtake. Yeah, good driver, Linus. But Blue Flag and Lennon are with that little pack as well, so we're starting to get the little groups together now. Cusker's definitely quick enough. I think he's in the wrong car, to be perfectly honest with you. His race starts are really going to hold him back, and the car just isn't doing it for him at the moment.
I don't think that car's anywhere near as good as it used to be. I do think it's been nerfed quite a bit, so unfortunate. But there will be tracks, definitely that car will suit more. Tsukuba being one of them.
Kyoto Yamagiwa is a Toyota track, daily races. Cartman isn't out of slipstream range of Pagani yet, albeit very close, but he's doing what he can.
Thing is, as well, when you've got a really, really quick drive in front of you, you can learn a little bit from watching what they do.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things I learned on the GT1, is just watching what they do and seeing what they do different to you.
Well, the one thing that people forget is our GT1, and I will blag about it because it really is this good. If you was to put this grid of drivers, or anybody from this grid, into most of the top end daily races on Gran Turismo Sport, they will finish towards the front against the very, very, very top people. So the level of this league is insane. Like, there's a lot of us that if we was to go into daily races, the amount of times we've raced against people that have been in like the Gran Turismo World Finals and everything, so they are always in that very top split in the world, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that.
Yeah, there's 8+ drivers in here.
Yeah,
a lot of them are 8+.
For those that are watching that maybe don't fully understand how that all works, there's like a ranking system that you do when you do online racing against like other, public races and stuff, and it goes through up obviously by like from E grade all the way up to A and S and whatnot. I've seen it, Zach, don't worry. And there's a category which is called A+, and basically that means that that's the best of the best. And a lot of the times when you go into these public lobbies, it will match you up against people that have very similar rankings to you. And we've legitimately, a lot of us have raced against people that are in the actual proper World Championship finals, which are like paid events for people, and we're always in the mix with them. So that's the level of the competition that you're seeing now. So these drivers are that level of good. So It's sorry to go on about it for a minute, but I just need to emphasise the speed of this division because it is incredible.
Lioness in late. Once again, a nice wee battle here, and it's allowed Blue Flag to join in the party.
Blue Flag's going to be licking his lips at the prospect of a lunge. He loves a lunge, does Blue Flag. He will compensate any race for the sake of a lunge.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Blue Flag.
This is a brave move.
He has as
this
well.
is a brave. This
Blue
could
Flag.
be exceptional.
Oh, there we go. Blue Flag. He's done
lovely
it.
move. See, he can do that, but then if something happens to him, he'll just lose his head.
Oh yeah, he panics.
What do you say? Panic? He just goes mental.
Breathe. He starts breathing.
Stops breathing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it in first person. Ooh.
Oh yeah, when you were at his house, wasn't it? Oh no, he was at yours, wasn't he?
No, I was at his house. We was racing in the wet,
it?
and I legitimately had to stop and just say, "Just go," because the panic that I saw in his face was like, "Just calm down. It's fine."
Oh.
Pagani 1.6. Oh, I do as well. Pagani 1.6 seconds ahead. Cartman under pressure from Feber.
Cartman's still P2, but I mean he's being hunted down here. Unsafe seems to have dropped off Feber. He's had a bad lap, that's why he's just had 23-1 last time around. So
Yeah,
just a bad lap, not more than that.
There's a good gap to Ross behind, who's pretty much on his own as well. T. Smith struggling down in P6.
He is. He doesn't. I don't think he's. I think he kind of. There was a lot of battling yesterday, last race behind him, which kind of helped him stay in front of it. But I think this race he's found himself in no man's land a bit.
Well, he's going to have to do very, very well to retain his championship crown in this kind of field.
Yeah. Definitely. 21.8. That's. I think that's his best lap all night. To be fair. Done.
Lioness and Lee's off.
Oh, again, that's second time in a
same
row.
place at Junkie Sport Corner. That's what we're going to call it.
Poor Carl.
Well, I think Junkie Sport only has brakes in the rear of his car, because by the way that his car was sliding every single time he touched the brakes was.
I mean, it's 5 to the rear, his brakes.
Yeah, well, that's no bloody wonder then. What are you doing that for, Carl? 5 to the rear on your brakes. It was all over the place. No wonder you couldn't stop.
Fairness, I was 5 to the rear, but I was in a Subaru that can actually stop.
Yeah.
That's the advantage.
Well, yours is 4-wheel drive. His isn't.
No, it's not. Clearly.
Pagani 2.2 seconds clear, so you would back Pagani here. Cartman and Feber are still going at it side by side. Cartman's lifted off a little bit. He gave Feber a bit of a touch there. And to be fair to him, he's lifted off and let Feber go, which is good racing. He's jeopardised his position there.
Can he hold on to a podium on his debut evening? That would be nice, wouldn't it? He can hold off unsafe release. I'm sure Feber will be trying to help his teammate out.
Well, he's mixing with some of the very best that we've got to offer, so he's you know, T. Smith is under pressure again from SBY, so T. Smith, could he finish 7th? That'd be a shock.
Well, to be fair, SBY finishing 7th is also a shock, isn't it? So.
Well, I must admit, when I saw that he picked the Evo, I mean, it's a good car, but I was surprised. I was really surprised.
I didn't realise until tonight. I mean, I was surprised when you said it as well. I was about like, ooh.
There's a big gaggle of cars going on behind in the battle for 8th.
The four of them, aren't there?
Jev Kusker's coming up into
all
this
different
as well.
lines. It's mental, that corner, and all the different
lines.
it's
a fantastic
just
corner.
Chaos.
The change in elevation to it as well. There's so many different lines you can take, and none of them ever seem to be right.
Exactly, the cars all like different lines through it as well, so it just makes it interesting. 100%.
Yeah.
Feber is defending for his life there.
Well, Kusker is now in slipstream range of this battle, so hopefully he can find himself a couple of positions.
That side? T. Smith and SBY. SBY looks like he's got it this time.
2 laps to go.
T. Smith has a bit of a faster car in the straight line. He might come back at him.
SBY is going to cover that off, I think.
Oh, contact. I should have done that a Pagani voice, shouldn't I? Contact!
Yeah. But to be fair, your catch line's, oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah, so I can't even do it. As soon as I try and do it, my voice just goes.
Oh,
Right,
you didn't get Ross to do it.
There's a lot of battles. Lioness, he's got a slight gap now to blue flag. There's under pressure from Lee. Disappointing race from Lee, I think. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on him, but...
I think his confidence might have been knocked a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope not.
And his pace is miles off what he was doing last time. Last race, I think his confidence has just went. He just needs to get back on the
Yeah, Custer's now
bandwagon.
right on the back of Feber again. Sorry to jump in there, Zach. But
That's alright.
Cartman right on the back of Feber.
Fairness, Lee will be starting P4 next race, so he's got a chance next race.
Yeah.
He's quick enough. One more lap then, after complete this lap.
Well, Mike getting all brave in the chat now he's won a race. Have you noticed a massive difference in Mike since he won a race?
Oh, I know. He just.
He posted it on his Facebook, his Instagram. I think he messaged his mum and dad to say thank you.
I know.
He's tried to go on bloody Heart radio station as well to a live interview. He's written into the Sun. He's done all sorts of stuff. He's abandoned his children.
Outside his flat and just announced it to his neighbours as well. He just got a megaphone, just like. Yeah.
He's done everything. He's left his wife, left his kids at home, gone to pursue his life as a race car driver now. FTRL Mikey International. We'll start calling him now.
Now thinks he can race in the real British touring cars and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He'll start messaging them all now. Any chance of a race seat? I won a race on GT Sport.
Oh god. Next time we go see a British touring car race, Mike will be fucking on the track.
Yeah, probably. Right, final lap of the race. Pagani looks dead set to win.
Cartman's still there behind Fever. He's got a chance of getting P2
He
here.
is. He's going to have to give it a send. Feber will give him the space. But maybe, I mean, for the sake of 1 point, you could jeopardise both your races, but we're going to stay on board with it. We'll see Pagani cross the line in a second. Feber defends very, very narrow.
Cut back. The cutback's here.
Yeah, is he going to have the run? Oh, he has. Oh, he has. This is going to be close. I think Feber's just going to hold this off. Yeah, Pagani takes the win. Congratulations, Feber second, Cartman third.
Great race.
Unsafely's fourth. Ross fifth, T Smith sixth, SPY seventh. Lioness is going to hold on to eighth. He does. Blue flag ninth. Lee Cole 10th. Cusker 11th. Lennon down in 12th. Dribbling along. Devils in 13th. Not too sure what Lennon's doing here, but there we go. And then Devils brings it home in P13.
Lennon's had a 141 something at this last lap. I think he was in the back of that group, but he's had a shocking last lap or two.
Well, first win of the season for Pagani, but as it stands, he is the current championship leader after 2 races.
Carl's giving you stick.
I don't care. I've seen Junkie Sport trying to give me stick, but I can't. The trouble is, I'm not even going to have a comeback for it because, you know, well, he was braking on ice last night, and that car was. It's like he was playing dirt rally going into corners last night. That car swinging around left, right, and centre. Well, there we go. So, final race of the evening coming up. We are just going to reverse the grid.
At least we get an easier job. Just clicking on this.
Easy. Piece of piss. No problems whatsoever. Fantastic driving from Cartman and from Feber there. Good to see Cartman getting a pole. Not a pole. A podium, should I say. I mean, technically he did get a pole, but...
Yeah, he did actually, yeah.
I saved myself there, haven't I? Right, so Devil's Nightmare will lead us away in this one. Lennon will be second. Cusker will be in third, although probably be ninth after the first corner, after the way that Toyota starts. Lee Cole will be fourth. Now, he's definitely going to be one to watch in this race, if he can just get away. Blue flag as well. He always does well on the reverse races, blue flag. Lioness will then tuck up behind. SPY will be the one defending from T Smith this time, so that'll be interesting to see. Then you've got Ross, who has had a pretty solid night so far. Unsafe release and Cartman on this penultimate row, and then you've got Feber, and then Pagani is going to be the last couple of drivers in this race. So we'll give them a 2-minute warning. Hope you all have been enjoying the stream so far. Like I said, for those that missed it, please do like the stream. Massively, massively appreciated. Yeah, so let us know who you think is going to win in the chat for this final race, or give us a full podium if you fancy it. Peterman's got his support in for SBY. I'd be inclined to agree. I think SBY might come on and win this one.
Starting in a good place.
Yeah, he's in a good place. He just needs to navigate his way through the field. I mean, he's got a lot better at it. I mean, obviously, I'm close enough with Sean. He's a lovely, lovely chap. But I think he used to get a bit hot under the collar and kind of go for the moves as soon as he saw it. Whereas now he's a lot more experienced. And as he's done that and taken that part out of his racing, he's flown up the grid. And he's got very, very close to a couple of these championships. So this could be his season. By the form that he's shown so far, I wouldn't write him off at all. I think he's going to be one well in contention by the end of the season. So, but he's going to need to do championship level drives, and he's going to have to win, go on and sort of win or challenge for the win in this race to show that. So,
the thing is with this season, the way the points doesn't much, you're going to have races where you're going to finish P7 and P8 and things like that. You're going to be down the other, especially in GT1. There's going to be races like that, but it's limiting those races and making sure when you do have the pace that you're in the podium positions.
Exactly. So I really enjoy the reverse grids because it bunches the pack up for ages. And it gives us something really interesting to watch. So I am excited again. But
some of them do really well in reverse grids. Like Blue Flag's one of the ones that when he's on his own, he's really quick. But when he's when he's battling with people, I think it's when his head goes and then
I don't even think it's that. I think he just gets distracted at the prospect of a battle. Like the thing with Blue Flag, and this isn't meant in like a dig in any way, shape or form. But with some people, what they'll do is they'll manage the race where if somebody's a bit quicker than them or something, or somebody's approached them quickly and putting them under a bit of pressure, they might let them go and then go, right, well, I'll tag onto that and then try and get them at the end. Whereas Blue Flag, I think the prospect of a battle he gets really distracted by. And he's like, oh, a battle. And then they lose about 12 seconds in a lap because you just want, they want to just battle like crazy, which is fine if you enjoy doing that. But to kind of, to maximise your racecraft and whatnot, sometimes maybe it's better to concede that position and try and get it back a bit later because he's more than capable of doing that. If his head's in the right place, he's a brilliant driver of Blue Flag. So I honestly wish him well. But yeah, if he does what we know him to do, then he'll find himself in territory where he doesn't want to be.
The guy, he's trying his best to drift to Subaru, and it's taken a lot.
He's just a prat, isn't he? Right, 16 people watching the stream. Thank you all very, very, very much for doing so. We are going to get to race number 3 and the final race of the evening well underway. So warm the voice box up, Zagis, because you are going to lead us for this one again, my friend.
Oh, that should be a chaotic start. Usually is in the reverse grids. Here we've got Devils on pole. That's one. Lennon in P2, actually. Lennon's got a chance of a decent result. We missed him out.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, anybody's capable of winning on this grid. It's just,
Very true.
I know we've seen some familiar faces tonight in the first couple of races, but I mean, listen, we've not even discussed T. Smith at the chance of winning a race, and that's just weird.
Yeah, I know.
So,
right,
take us away, Zagis.
Final race of this evening. Devils is on pole. How's that Mustang going to get off the line? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh, actually reasonably decent Devil off the line. Seems to have got all right compared to Lennon. He seems to have got the jump, actually. He's going to lead down to turn 1. Lennon P2, Lee P3. Then we've got Blue Flag into P4. We've got Cusker, T. Smith in P6. Very, very clean start from the top 6, at least. P7, you've got Ross. Then behind SBY battling with Lionesi. Lionesi on the inside. Looks like he's got that, so he's keeping the P8. SBY going to try and hold it down the inside, but Lionesi keeps place. P8. Very, very clean start. Lennon is... who's made a mess up front? Is that Devil's
just pulling over and letting the grid through, which is a shame.
Oh.
I think he's trying to get out of the way of holding anybody up, but that's a real shame. He feels like he's had to do that. That is a shame. Anyway, Lennon's taken the race lead.
Yeah, Lee. Oh, blue flag and Lee. Side by side for the S's. And Lee looks to have one out there. So Lee, we did say he's got a chance here. He just needs to get away here. Close up to the back of Lennon, but he has got blue flag behind him, who loves a battle. So, you know, T. Smith having a... Oh, that's audacious! That was a bit late. You got away with that there.
The sign of desperation.
That was a bit late. Did get away with that there.
Well, Lennon is your race leader, going into lap number 2.
It is indeed. Decent start from the man in the... Very much so. Right, Lee, I think, though, he can get past Lennon here. If he does, he can get away here. Get a bit of a gap. Hopefully.
So I've just seen Michael C's come into the group chat and just put, oh no!
Has he? Oh, he has. I've just seen that there.
Evening, Michael.
Well, let's see. Oh. Lee's causing a little bit. In half a second, he's got to make up. Cusker and Blue Flag going to start battling here, and that might allow the top two.
Oh, T. Smith sideways. He is sending it. He wants this.
Alright. Thing is, he's not used to pushing this hard, I don't think. He
Well,
doesn't have to. This is uncharted territory for the man.
Well, this is what I was talking to him about this yesterday, and he was saying to me that, you know, he's not gloating because he genuinely is the best on the grid. Obviously, he's given himself a challenge this season by going in that car, which is fair enough. But anybody that's ever watched even one race knows how good T. Smith is. So he said that whenever he's driven the cars before, he knows that he can just drive it to the point he feels comfortable, and he'll normally get a really good result out of it. Whereas this car, he has to really give it some, and he knows that it is prone to a bit of a slidey slide, a bit of a junky sport.
Lico!
God, he keeps doing that, doesn't he?
He needs to start finding his braking point there, mate. You need to go. Where is he braking in that car? I think brake just after the 100-metre board, about 90 metres. But I think he's just braking that a little bit too late, and he's kind of having to slide it through the corner, and it's just not working in that Subaru.
Well, we have the whole grid other than Devils, unfortunately, inside the top 10. I don't know whether Devils is I don't know whether he's paused at the moment, possibly. It looks like it. It's a shame to feel like he might have given up here, but I'll have a chat with him afterwards. But Cusker's going to have to take a look at Lee in towards the start of the S section.
Oh, that's close.
It's respectful. It's good. Cusker is ahead. Very nicely done. Yeah, Devil's Nightmare has lost, unfortunately. Left the room.
Let's see now. This is the point. Because Lee didn't get away, and now he's getting stuck in this big battle. It's going to go on. It's 11 Lennon. A wee bit of a gap.
Oh, Cusker's really wide.
Yeah. And that Subaru's got much better traction, so Lee Cole's way past.
Yeah, Blue Flag trying to push Lee through so he can get the position as well.
He has as well. Is he going to go down the inside though? He is. Oh, that's late. Oh, he's alright. It's alright. Not too bad. I was thinking he was going to be
a little bit of bumping.
Be very late.
But that's what happens in British touring cars. I mean, the driving standards have been really, really good tonight from what I've seen so far.
Have.
No one's been an idiot. It might have felt worse on track at the time, especially when you're involved in the thick of a battle, because sometimes it can feel that way.
It's always the same. Same last night. There was a couple of minor incidents, but there wasn't any absolutely massive crashes, I don't think, at all last night. I've seen in the stream anyway.
I think Brad unfortunately got involved in a couple of them.
I was race. Yeah, the race 3 one that happened in front of me. I'm not even sure what happened in that, to be fair. Blue Flag is still in P2 though.
He's giving us a go, his Blue Flag. He really is giving this a go.
Indeed. He can try and close up to Lennon. Lennon has got a decent gap though with this battle, and he's doing pretty decent times, consistent. Thing is with Lennon, he's too inconsistent, but if he does start to get in a rhythm, he's good, Lennon.
Well, crucially, Pagani has managed to shake off unsafe release and catch up to the back of this pack. Now, as it stands, he's ahead of unsafe, he's ahead of FIBA, and he's only one place behind SPY. So if he can finish ahead of SPY here as well, Pagani's got himself a nice few point gap at the start of
the season.
Definitely. Michael, so you get yourself back in GT1, Aaron. I mean, I don't need to because I wasn't very fast. And my lap times were so inconsistent and I spun. So, but trust me, I would love to be in GT1 because this is like my favourite thing to do in the world. But
it's chaotic. Out of the right-hander, Ross, Cusker, SVY. Cusker's having to defend here. Right, he's just been overtook by T. Smith. He seems alright in the moment.
Pagani's got to go run on SPY, but he's just really got nowhere to go, unfortunately, for him.
They're all boxed in at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. This will happen. Zomla is in the chat. Good evening, Zom. Again, drove very, very well last night. Michael C, you was also excellent, my friend. Well done.
Zom was, I think, a big surprise at the start. Not for me, I thought I knew his pace, but for a lot of others, he had an excellent first race last night.
Well, a lot of the time with Zom, it wasn't a case of the pace was never there. It was just the consistency. But he seemed to find that last night, so good on him. Well, the whole train is here from third downwards, well, second downwards actually. So that's a small gap
still
now
1.5 seconds.
T. Smith and Lee. Now them two are working together by the looks of it.
This is the best Lennon's drove all night as well. Consistent lap times. Obviously, he's not the quickest in the field, Lennon, but if he can keep doing these consistent lap times, he'll be in for a shout of maybe a podium here at the end of the race. Maybe a bit better. Depends what happens in behind.
Just needs to carry on. We're almost halfway through.
Yeah, exactly.
And the trouble is, all of these cars are going to keep scrapping now. Pagani is under pressure from Cusker there.
Oh, T. Smith. That's wide. That's very wide. It's got a bit of a gap to find to blue flag as well here. Oh, in fairness, with blue flag and Lee call, both of these love a battle. So
the trouble is, I mean, them two are like rivals as well in the way that they are, but
yeah,
they probably are in some form of mutual understanding here that if they carry on doing what they're doing, then they're not going to put themselves under too much pressure. Pagani's taken a very wide line around the final corner.
And you can see quite clearly the difference between the first two races and the third race in the fastest lap. Good 4/10 off what we were doing last race in the fastest lap at the moment. See, when the pack's so bunched up with this, it does slow everyone down a bit. Makes it more interesting though.
It certainly does.
It's the favourite rate of the night.
Really intriguing so far. Having the whole grid here, this is excellent. This is what we want to see.
It's very close, isn't it?
1.8 seconds clear.
You couldn't predict who's going to win this race at the moment. Not at all.
Absolutely not. And T. Smith just cannot close that gap. He's closed up a little bit to blue flag. But
I think he's getting to the point where he's having to push it too much that it's making mistakes.
I think if T. Smith... Oh, Ross might be going through here. I think he will. T. Smith is probably going to let him go.
That corner he doesn't seem to deal with.
It's hard.
BMW.
The thing is that was the one thing I noticed last night. I was quick through most of the circuit, but that corner for me was hard. I was in the Hyundai, and I said for those four-wheel drives like your Subaru, it's really, really difficult.
I did say that. I struggled with the braking at that corner because people were braking so much earlier than I could brake into that corner.
Yeah. But Ross has already pulled a gap to T. Smith. T. Smith it's going to be a difficult season for him, I think. But I don't think he'll mind that, to be honest. I honestly don't think he will mind. He's been at the front of everything so far, and he will win races. He's too good to not win races. But he will like this, I think. But yeah, Lennon has extended his gap by another 10th. Lee and blue flag are getting to the point where I think they might even be jeopardising each other's race a little bit by the way that they're just trying to force themselves up there. Ross is very close to being in slipstream now. So Ross is on the charge. Now what he needs to not do is outbrake himself in slipstream like he did in the earlier race.
It's a decent gap he's got here, 2.5 seconds now.
Ross is right there with him. Now, if Ross can clear one of these fairly quickly...
He's got a chance.
He's got every chance, yeah. Because he's definitely got the speed. If he can get past blue flag, which will probably be the more difficult overtake out of the two...
Thing is, Blue Flag going to have a move on Lago here, so this is going to allow a chance here. He's going to go round the outside. They're all in the same car though, so there's no benefit really in traction.
I think Ross is the quicker out of the three at the moment. But
definitely. Fast lap of the race. Oh, it was momentarily. Topagani.
Blue Flag's gone round the outside of Lee.
Done well.
Ross will be screaming inside.
8 minutes to go.
I would flick further through the field here, everyone, but everyone's just doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm just going to stick on board with Ross because this seems to be where the party's at. I think what Ross needs is a glimmer of hope. He needs a mistake. He needs something because he's bringing SPY with him, and I do think that Ross is the quickest out of those around him at the moment. But he's now going to lose out to SPY by the looks of things. Is SPY going to send it? I think he might.
Yes.
Yeah. Elbows out from SPY. That's all he needs is a sniff. And Ross has lost a position and lost the momentum.
Lennon got a wee bit of a penalty, but he's still consistent. Look at his lap times. He's not setting the light up like his paces. They're not exceptional pace, but it's just consistent. And with the battles that's going on, it's keeping him in front.
Yeah.
Comfortably at the moment.
Ross just needs to not get swallowed up by all this now.
Still on for a decent result. Just needs to try and avoid this, but he has got two extremely quick drivers behind him.
I mean, it'll get to a point very, very soon where one of either Blue Flag or Lee will want to start getting the old elbows out, and I think they'll bring the cars behind them into play. So watch that space over the next couple of laps. I imagine from this position, Lennon may go unchallenged because I think they'll just start to scrap.
The thing is, the front three are all pretty similar, I think, on pace. Not much between them. Lee, I think, is a wee bit quicker, but I think that's the old Blue Flag.
It's close. No, but what I'm saying is these two, especially Lago and Blue Flag, these two will just start to fight. And like I said earlier on, they will jeopardise their own race because they'll want to start getting the position. They've done the right thing so far, but they need to do this until the very end rather than just race for pride.
That shows you how different the reverse grid races can make.
It's so tactical. It is so tactical. That's a perfectly timed switchback from Lee. He's got that almost inch perfect.
It's just the issue that would be much more effective if he was racing a different type of car than he's in. But when you're racing the same car, it is difficult because you know when that car's good and when it's bad. So it's just no really.
Well, SPY is right there. Lennon's 2.1 seconds ahead. He's still got that penalty, but he could take that to the end and slow down before the line and still be ahead. So Lennon is looking good. He has got the capabilities of doing this, Lennon, and I've told him this several times. Now Kuska has snuck up into 7th, and he's not far off of Pagani.
Ooh. T. Smith, what's happened?
Oh, I don't know.
It's 11th.
Yeah, I've just noticed that. Air. I'm looking at the two Hyundais behind Kuska.
That's interesting.
Well,
I did say Lennon's someone who does have good races occasionally. He just needs to be consistent, and he is this race. And behind, it's an absolute chaos with the battle in the moment. SPY trying to find a way through.
This is what we want to see. Well. This is GT1.
4 cars, all different lines. Who's... Oh my god. What on earth?
I think Ross was going to go for a cutback then.
There's too many cars there in that very short space of track.
Blue Flag up to Blue Flag tricks. Yeah, I've just seen that out of the final corner. Ross had the run on him, and Blue Flag decided to give Ross a little push over the track to stop him getting slipstream.
I thought SPY was going to have Lee there, and he's not got it, and now he's under pressure again, and this is holding SPY up because he's quick enough to possibly get away, catch Lennon, but he's getting held up too much. It's all falling into place for Lennon here, isn't it? This is just perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be doing well to catch 2.8 seconds unless Lennon makes a mistake. And I hope he doesn't.
Now Ross, I think, has he finally got past blue flag? No, he's still
No,
there.
I'm not sure. He's still there.
He's going to be tearing his hair out here, Ross.
He's going to have to... Yeah, he's oh, God.
He's going to be tearing his hair out. Like I said to you, so going up to I've clocked this on the last lap. Ross had a better run than blue flag out of the final corner, and the slipstream was dead in line with where Ross was. And blue flag came across the track and just gave Ross a bump out of the way of the slipstream, and then took Ross's position on track.
This is...
So there's 3.5 minutes to go.
SUY.
Ross now has the slipstream. Maybe? Blue flag's going to have to do this on the brakes, I think. Ross has the space. He's now got the inside line. This could finally be job done. I think it is. Ross has got it done. And Pagani's now putting blue flag under pressure. So that will be his attention diverted very, very quickly. So look how quickly Ross has closed up to SPY. Ross could have won this race. If he got past blue flag and Lago when he was with them on his own, he could have won this race. But there'll
what
be...
a result this would be.
Yeah.
We said Lago had a chance. He did. He's still in P2 at the moment. But none of us gave Lennon a shout, to be fair.
Maybe we don't give Lennon enough credit. Like I said, sometimes if he has to come through the field and work for it, he's not always up to the task. But he's certainly put himself in a good position here, and he's driven away.
I didn't even mention him as a chance until the start. Right at the start, when I mentioned, I kind of forgot about Lennon. I was like, oh, Lennon's there. He had a chance.
SPY going for a move on Lee. Lee's going to try a cutback, but SPY just puts it on the apex, and now Lee's probably going to lose out to Ross.
SPY. He's not that much quicker. You can't get 1.5 seconds unless...
Yeah, unless Lennon makes a mistake, he's not going to do this.
Wasn't the best turn one from Lennon, in fairness.
Ross has now cleared Lee, so he's now diverted his attention to SPY. So this has been a really good drive from Ross. I'm going to go down and just see what's going on. Pagani's in P5, Cartman's in P6. Good driving from him. The two Hyundais are matching each other again, Unsafe and Feber. T. Smith done in 9th, so he's recovered a couple of positions.
Blue flag's last.
He's last?
What earth has happened to him in the last lap? 1:30. What on earth?
Now, obviously, I can't speak for... I can't speak for him, but was it a case of after Ross got past, and I said his attention diverted to Pagani, has something happened there, like between the two of them? Or has he just made a mistake? I don't know. I'll have to see. But Lennon has got...
Maybe that right hand up.
Yeah, Lennon has got a lap and a corner, but he's got 0.7 of a second of a penalty. But again, he can take this to the end and get rid of this comfortably. So Lennon's got to go around this track one more time and not lose, 2 seconds, basically.
Right. Just do what you've been doing. Every lap he's done, every single lap has been in the 22s. Yep. All race. He's not had a lap in the 23s. Extremely consistent.
Well, Ross is putting SPY under all sorts of pressure. This will be a statement of intent. If Ross managed to get past SPY, who we know is a fast driver...
And he's one of the favourites for the championship.
Well, he would have been, yeah. With well, he would be now. But before the race started, I to be honest with you, I was going to say that there's a part of me that almost wants to say I don't think SPY can get a championship out of that car. But he's well and truly proved me wrong there. And that was only just from what I know of the car. It was nothing against nothing against his pace, because I know how fast he is and how good he is.
I would have said the same.
But purely simply based on the car alone. Like with T. Smith, we know he's capable of a championship because he's proved it many times, but is he going to win it in that car? Probably not. And I kind of had the same feeling with SPY, but... Lennon has got one corner to navigate and a penalty to get rid of. In fairness, Lennon could just drive up to the line and get rid of the penalty.
He doesn't have to get rid of it.
He hasn't got to get rid of it.
There we go. Ross is Nick P2. He's got him.
Oh, he squeezed past him. I didn't even see what happened. Lennon is your race winner.
Ross, ooh, P2.
There we go.
What a result for Lennon.
Was there a little bit of argy-bargy at the final corner, or was it clean?
I'm not sure. I was watching Lennon, but then
Yeah,
I
same.
saw Ross get past. But I don't think so. I think it was clean. I didn't.
There we go. Lennon is your race winner. Congratulations to Lennon. That was, again, a bit out of the blue. But that is the beauty of this division. Anybody can win. Lennon was down the back for the first couple of races, I think, and he's ended up winning the third. So it just shows you there's a lot of factors in what we do. So Lennon is your race winner. Darling Rossi Poo is in second. SBY in third. Lee Cole in fourth. So good drive from Lee, especially after the disappointment of the first. He drove really well tonight on the whole, Lee. Pagani in fifth. Pagani, I think, will be championship leader at this point, so he'll be very pleased with that. Faber in sixth. Cartman, again, in seventh. Good job from him. Cusker in eighth.
Consistent
Linus
all
in
night.
ninth. T. Smith down in 10th. Unsafe release 11th. And Blue Flag 12th. And we lost Devil's Nightmare. So, wow. An eventful start to the season. That was excellent. Really, really enjoyed watching that, Zach.
It was very good.
Who was your driver of the night? Well, I'll ask you that.
Either Ross or Cartman, I would say. Cartman, very consistent. He was always in the midfield. So, for his first week, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think I would give it to Ross, purely on the basis of his consistency there. Obviously, Pagani drove exceptionally well. SBY done exceptionally well. Lennon obviously deserves a shout for his win. Lee would have been up there had he not have had the wiggles and whatnot. But for consistency, I would definitely say that Ross was my driver of the night, I would say. So, good job from him. Well, thank you all so much. Before you all disappear, please do remember to like the stream for us. And if those that are watching it back, again, please do remember to like it for us. I hate to go on about it, but essentially the more people, the more numbers that are on there, the further this video will go. And obviously we're trying to grow FTRL ahead of Gran Turismo 7 and turn it into something beautiful. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Zach, for your company, my friend. And we will see you next week. So we are at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit next week. So it's a very, very small lap.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be massive FTRL trains. So there's going to be some rubbing, and there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on next week. So please do join us then. Thursday night for GT2 and Friday night for GT1. I will be on the mic again, and we will see you then. So thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend, and we will see you next week.